There are some interesting streaming releases, and perhaps the biggest one is over on Netflix with the latest from Netflix animation, The Sea Beast, which tells the story of a young girl who stows away on a ship of a legendary monster hunter. I wrote Chip in my notes for some reason. When they accidentally journey into uncharted waters. Art, this is the latest movie written and directed by Chris Williams, who did both Bolt and Big Hero 6. So how does his latest, The Sea Beast, stack up to those two movies?
I was excited to see what new stuff Netflix had picked up in terms of their animations. I feel like every time around this year, they give us something pretty decent. And I think this has a pretty good story. The way you described it becomes practically like a buddy pirate out there trying to catch a beast, but then also kind of realizing maybe everything that your profession has been or what you think the history of your town has been may not be what you know it to be. I thought the animation was beautiful. This is the year of water, dude. For whatever reason, every effects company is going all out with their water scenes. We're going to have Avatar later this year. It's literally in the title.
It's all going to culminate with Avatar.
Honestly, but the water animation, to be honest, it's freaking fantastic. That's probably one of the most difficult things to do, just because of its fluidity. And I think just in general, a lot of the shots that they capture in this movie are fantastic. They had said that a big inspiration was King Kong, not just in the themes of the story, but like the scope that they were going for. This idea of befriending this giant beast that may have a different history to it.
That scope is really one of the things that I think you can tell they were thinking about, because there's all these amazing, amazing images where they'll put the tiny human characters in front of these giant beasts, and they all look like paintings. They're incredible.
It's fantastic scaling. So I think it takes its animation and it does the best that it could possibly do with it. The cast as well, I think, is pretty stacked. Butcher has been having one hell of a weekend, is what I could say. Carl Urban comes in and he voices the main pirate. I really like his voice. I think he's always done. I think that's like one of his biggest attributes as an actor. So seeing that on display here was really good. Zari Angel, who does the little girl, I thought she played her perfectly. I usually get tired with the trope of her having like what really is a cat. They even say it in the movie that little thing that she hangs around with, there's always going to be that. Cat. Yeah, the little sidekick. But I thought she had really good banter with it, not just in the way that she's animated, but a lot of the back and forth thanks to the voice acting. Jared Harris does a good job in it as well. So I think there's a lot to like in this movie. And the camaraderie was good, but I really like the messaging in the third act of the movie, which I don't want to spoil because there's some meat into the story. It's not just a bunch of visuals, which at first felt a lot like How to Train Your Dragon. I don't know if you got that vibe out of it at all.
We're watching definitely the monster design.
Yeah, you got the monster design that goes a lot with it. It's got this very dragon feel, almost like who's going to train who. But I would recommend it on Netflix because you don't just get beautiful animation with it. You actually get a story that makes you think.
For sure. I mean, just weaving in this idea that society often valorizes people who've done terrible things in benefit of the empire, and that our so-called heroes may not actually have been that heroic. Like, to put all that into a kid's movie is pretty complex and cool, and I really dig that. I'm looking forward to a bunch of 7-year-olds 10 years from now reading about U.S. presidents and being like, this is exactly like the Sea Beast.
This is the
Am I a gigantic pansy, or was this pretty scary for a PG movie? I'm not trying to be the guy who thinks that Multiverse of Madness should have been R-rated, but I don't know if it's just like how tense and frightening some of the like hunt scenes are. But I feel like I felt like the characters were a lot closer to danger than you normally get in a kids movie like this.
I think it's because a lot of the animation is so shiny. So when they put you in that perilous scenario, it's just that effective.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it works is the thing, right? And I mentioned to you before we started recording, there's this article that I thought of immediately. One of my favorite pieces of film writing called "The Sea is Dope." This old Grantland article by Chris Ryan, just talking about how like movies set at sea are awesome. There's just so much built-in tension and stakes because you have this whole like man versus the elements, man versus nature thing going on, plus the man versus man stuff that inevitably comes from those stories. So yeah, man, there should be more movies set out at sea, I guess. But I'd also recommend anybody check out that piece of writing because it's a really fun piece. The sea is dope.
You'd rather be up in space or lost at sea?
Just personally?
Yeah.
I mean, I think
And professionally.
I'd rather be lost at sea because I feel like there's at least the
Really?
glimmer of hope that you might eventually drift into something. If you're drifting through space, you're
lost, yeah.
out of luck. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, there's just something about the fact that we've been here on this planet so long and we don't know half the stuff that's on this planet after so long. It's creepy. But no, I agree with you. I have to check this article out. There's plenty of good sea movies out there, and I would add the Sea Beast into that realm. Check that one out.
I would agree.